Hey everybody, it's AJ Johnson and I'm hanging with Mandi Vee of Mandi Vee Media. You do not want to miss our conversation. Tune in.
Hey everybody, it's Mandi Vee from Mandi Vee Media and I am with the legend, the legendary AJ Johnson. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you all, her body of work, but just in case you've been living under a rock for the past, couple decades, she's graced us starring in movies such as House Party, Baby Boy. She's been in Sister Act.
Inkwell.
Yes, the list goes on and on. And I'm so happy that I'm having the opportunity right now to be in your presence because I'm such a 90s baby.
Aww.
And everything you did was just the 90s world for me. So again, I'm so happy to be able to just be in your presence.
Well, I'm excited and humbled that you feel that way and that, you wanted to talk. I'm living this dream right now. And the busy is insane. So I'm grateful and I'm trying to learn how to manage it.
Right.
That's the other thing, I'm trying to learn how to manage it.
This year, believe it or not, House Party turns 30.
It turned 30. March 9th. That's our 30th anniversary. March 9th, 1990 was the premiere of House Party.
So just this week.
Yes. My life forever changed by March 10th of 1990.
So I'm still in awe because this was a movie I watched, when I'm not going to say how old I was when I watched it, but I was old enough to really know the movie and understand the movie and enjoy the movie.
Right.
So now that we're in the 30th year, first of all, we have all these shows that are doing reboots and coming back. And have there ever been any talks about getting the original cast back together?
Yeah. I mean, there's been talks over the years. I think that it probably could only be done correctly by Reggie Hudlin and Warrington Hudlin, who created it in the first place. Other producer and director teams have taken a stab at it. And I just feel like there's nothing like the creators for creating the new version of it. But even if it's not necessarily a reboot of House Party, I think the original cast has got to come back together again to do something. And I don't know exactly what that would be. It may even be a reunion, a high school reunion type of thing when we all come back. I don't know. But I would love to do something like that. I think it would be loads of fun.
Is there anything you can share, like some what was confidential information back then may not be so confidential now, but anything that we would be shocked to know what happened on the set?
Shocked to find out. I don't know if you'd be shocked to learn that Play and I have always been really close. We tried to date off and on through the years. I think we found out that we're actually better friends than romantic, but we've always been deeply connected. I don't know if that's a surprise to you.
It is.
Okay, yeah, because that's not anything that's necessarily public. But we are like frickin' frack. Like, we talk at least once a week. We're very supportive. We're prayer partners. We have been connected for life, literally since the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but yeah, we're very close, very close. I think even from social media, I think people are happy to learn probably more through social media because we're so invested in our friendship and the privacy of it that Tisha and I are still so close. I don't think people realize that before social media until they see us travel together and we'll post something silly together or whatever. But Tisha and I have gone through mountains and valleys in our friendship. Our lives went different directions. She's got married, had kids. I was doing other things. So we had some distances through the 30 years, but we've always stayed close, even distantly close. And now, we're closer than close now. So I think probably people would be surprised to know that we did go through mountains and valleys in our relationships. A lot of 30-year-old relationships do.
Yeah.
But we're closer than ever and our sisters more than friends. After all that time, we're probably number one supporters of each other's careers. And, we trust each other with information in terms of guidance in each other's careers at this point.
So what we do know, though, is that you were a choreographer and that you did the whole routine at the house party that you and Tisha performed in the movie.
I choreographed it.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you actually have a hand in the Kid and Play?
I did not. You know why? Because Kid and Play were already Kid and Play coming to the movie. Like the movie was actually theirs. And Tisha and I were cast as the two girls who were going to be their friends. But Kid and Play were already big on the music scene. And House Party was really the movie that was going to launch hip hop, as new as it was in '89. The movie was going to be the platform that actually launched hip hop into the movie scene. And so Kid and Play were already Kid and Play. They were already performing. They had done music videos. So all their choreography was them. And we just kind of started teasing each other because they were the music side, we were the actress side.
Right.
And they'd always say, "Oh God, these actresses," and we'd be like, "Oh God, these musicians who don't know how to act." So we would always tease each other, and that's where a lot of like the teasing camaraderie came from that you saw on screen. And that's where the dance battle came from. There was no dance battle written in the script. And we were just kind of playing around one day. And I even said to Reggie, like, you know, from where I'm from, there's always a dance battle. Like, you know, I went to an HBCU, we're always dance battling. And he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "What?" And so, you know, we just started playing around. And Reggie was like, hold on, pause, freeze, let's get the cameras. And the rest of that is history.
Well, we also know with your dancing, you started off, actually, you had to draw back from In Living Color.
Yes.
Right? Because you got cast in the movie.
Yes.
And then you actually recommended J-Lo and Rosie Perez, right, to take your
well,
place.
Yep. At the time, we were actually just finishing the pilot when I got House Party. So I didn't even have a chance to really dance on the show. But because Keenan and I were such good friends through the pilot process, I suggested, I knew Rosie. Rosie was a top dancer. I knew Jennifer Lopez because she was also a top dancer. And I mean, just like any world, dancers know dancers, you know? And at the time, because I was primarily a dancer, I knew the dancers. I was still more East Coast of a dancer. I was still new to LA. So when I told, when Keenan Ivory Wayans said, you know, "Do you have any suggestions?" I was like, "Get Rosie Perez and J-Lo. Whatever you have to do, get them and you'll be fine."
And that catapulted their career. We all know that.
Living Color.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So have they ever reached out to you and said, "Hey, thanks for that nudge"?
Well, you know, I mean, it's been a long time.
Right.
It's been over 30 years. So you know, we've run into each other. We've talked. I mean, I went to see J-Lo at her Vegas show a couple of times. And Rosie, because she's based in New York and I'm more in California, I don't see her as often. But over the years, yes, we've hugged and, you know, it's the kind of thing where it's not even so much that it's, "Hey, thanks for the nudge," but it's kind of one of those things where when you acknowledge and respect each other's talents, it's what you're supposed to do. And so I don't necessarily think there's a thank you involved. I think it's just a matter of, you know, that's what we did then.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of, that's what we did. And so, for example, even for House Party, my attorney at the time, Stephen Barnes, was also Keenan Ivory Wayans' attorney, Stephen Barnes, and was also Reggie Warrington Helgen's attorney. So when I was on In Living Color with Keenan and House Party script came up, my attorney, Stephen Barnes, said, "Hey, I've got clients that have this script that I think you're amazing for. I want to bring them to one of your rehearsals for In Living Color." And that's how I met Reggie and Warrington. And they said, "Oh my God, we got to have you come in and pair you up with some people because you're perfect for this." Now, you know, of course, I respect and love that Stephen Barnes thought that way, but that's just kind of how the business happened back then.
Right.
It was like, you know, you just kind of hooked each other up, and it wasn't competition really. It was more like, you know, I can't do it, but I want the best person to have the job, and I want my friend who's producing to have the best person. At the time, it was Rosie Perez.
What happened to those days?
I know, right? Like, you can't even get a friend to help you get follows at this point.
Exactly.
As opposed to a job.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, Jesus, let alone.
You know, try to start a small business and try to get a couple people to share, you know, your posts.
It's a different time.
It's like pulling teeth. So
it's a different time.
It definitely is. Well, it is Women's History Month. One of the things that, you know, you've accomplished as a woman in this entertainment industry is to stay relevant.
Yes.
And even though you had taken a step back from acting, you've managed to rebound and bounce right back in.
Crazy.
With Stuck With You.
Y'all were just stuck on each other.
No, we're not.
And you don't lie well when you're horny.
How you know I'm horny?
All that chopping, you're killing the strawberry, you so horny.
I am simply cutting.
And you know what? Listen, just remind yourself you're doing the right thing. Okay? This is all for you. We focused on you.
That's right.
All his yumminess and sexiness, I get it, but it's just a distraction.
That's right.
Shut it down.
Tell us a little bit about how you managed to keep yourself relevant in Hollywood, first as a woman and then the extra layer is a Black woman.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like I did anything aiming for relevance or to stay in the business. What I do know that I did is that I decided what was going to make me happy, and I wasn't going to, you know, live less than that, whatever it was. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I sidestepped away from acting as a priority career and started doing more healthy living content and fitness content and created my business, the AJ Zone. My parents, all along, I mean, I lost my mother before I got to Hollywood, unfortunately, but my dad said, you know, you got to own something. Like, this acting thing is great, but you have to own something. So constantly hearing his voice in my head, I went ahead and tried to find a passion and a purpose-driven situation that I could create a business that I could own, never thinking that that would explode. You know, TV, radio, magazines started asking, you know, for more and more content, and celebrities also became clients. Like, I had no idea it was going to do that. That turned into public speaking and motivational speaking for corporations and pharmaceutical companies worldwide. Like, I had no idea that was going to be that. I was just trying to chase my happy. I mean, the truth is, again, you know, I was a pre-med major at Spelman before I came to Hollywood.
Right.
And so part of me has always loved the sciences and medicine. So that was kind of my way to dip my feet in the water of medicine without putting on a white lab coat every day. I think what happens is, what I'm learning is that I think the industry, and not just the industry, but society loves when they can tell you're happy, whatever it is. I think everybody wants to know the story of, why are you happy? Why are you so giddy? Why does your skin look great and your hair look great and you're not tired and worn out after 30 years? I think that's more of what it is. And because I share so much of my happiness and my life, I think it's become inspiring to people. And so to me, that's what it is, more than I've done this, you know, this swaggy thing of staying relevant. Right. I think it's more just that, you know, I figured out what makes me happy. I'm not afraid to go for it. I'm not afraid to share what it is, even if it's the unpopular thing. Even going to Ghana last year, you know, I traveled to Africa quite a bit last year, at least 8 times. And I didn't do it to say, oh, this is gonna get them. This is gonna kill them for them to see me in Africa.
Right.
I wanted to do the bucket list trip. I had never been to the continent before. And I was completely blown away by everything that I learned and experienced and absorbed. And I felt like I've got to share it with Americans like me, who had never been and don't know what I'm experiencing and learning. And just me wanting to share so much, everybody was like, tell us more, tell us more, tell us more. So again, I just think it's a place of honesty, and it's a place of sharing who you authentically are. And that's what people are attracted to.
And you did mention, you know, just being happy and finding you're happy, and you wear many hats to keep yourself happy. I didn't mention it at the beginning, but you're a life coach. Of course, we all know an actress, TV producer, fitness guru, philanthropist. So kind of jumping back to you getting back into acting with the show Stuck With You. Can you just tell us a little bit about what the show is about and what it's supposed to teach us about relationships?
Yes, Stuck With You is a really fun, intimate look into this insanely popular celebrity relationship, but mostly popular in front of the camera. Behind closed doors, they're a hot mess, they're dysfunctional, and trying to figure out, are they gonna stay together or separate? Because their happy is when they're apart, but their livelihood is when they're together. And I play Stephanie, their friend and publicist, who's trying to help them navigate both, you know, the love as well as the check. And so, you know, I feel like one of the things I love that Patricia Cusby Jones, who is the writer, creator, producer, did so well with this content is that in the storyline, she's weaved such beautiful relationships. They're fun, they're funny, they're real. Not only with the men, but with the women as well. I think, you know, for me, it's probably one of the first times that I've seen so many successful African-American women on camera that are also friends. So I think it's, you know, it's not a preachy type of content story. I think it's just from watching, you start to say, hey, I want friends like that. Hey, I want that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I think it also teaches us what we don't want. There's a few relationships on there that you may go, okay, yep, I know him and I don't want that kind of relationship, you know? So I think it's a great way to just look at not only the relationships, but what you share publicly. You know, let's face it, we're in the age of social media.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the stories will teach you, maybe, you know, I won't share so much this time, or maybe I should share that as opposed to this. So I think there's a lot of lessons in it while it's fun.
Okay. There's definitely, you know, that aspect of social media where things are a lot of the time overshared.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
people certainly need to tune into that to figure out, you know,
what's too much.
What's too much, what we need to pull back from.
Right. And honestly, also, I think it's going to help people navigate, what do they really want? Do you want the celebrity relationship, or do you want the true love? Because I think it both require different things, and we explore that on the show as well.
I just wanted to put out another tidbit about women, this being Women's History Month, and an important factoid about you is that you were Miss, I want to get it right, the first Miss Collegiate Black America pageant winner, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then also Miss Morehouse.
You really did your homework.
I did, because I was like, I have to come correct.
I love that.
I can't be lackluster when I'm facing.
Well, it's interesting because, just for people who don't know, Miss Collegiate Black America was a pageant that was actually, the contestants were the queens of all the HBCU universities, historical Black colleges and universities. So Miss Collegiate is the queen of all the queens. And I was in the first pageant and won. But of course, in order to compete, I was Miss Morehouse to compete. Before that, I was actually Miss Freshman, my first year at Spelman. And before that, I was homecoming queen at my predominantly white high school in Fairhaven, New Jersey. So, it's interesting that, I just feel like I was being prepared and prepared and prepared. Even now, to go to Ghana and witness all of the royalty that we are, and to meet the kings and queens, it's like, it's more confirmation and confidence building than it is new information that we're from royalty. And now it's just a matter of, for me, learning that, what do I do to walk in that power and to live it? That's the promise I made myself, and to a lot of my new friends in Africa. As I travel back and forth to the US, what am I going to do to maintain the power that's in my new name? I got renamed as well.
I saw that.
Yes.
Can you tell us what that, because I can't pronounce it.
Yes. It's AJ Aquia Otribia.
Okay.
Johnson. Aquia is because I was born on a Wednesday, and in Ghana and a lot of West Africa, your first name is based on the day you were born.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No.
I didn't either. So that's a new
Not
thing
at all.
too. And then Otribia, your last name, or your middle name, if you will, comes from when the kingdom that's renaming you, what character of an ancestor you emulate, or that you remind them of. And so I was named after the Queen Mother of Akwamufi, the region that I'm attached to. She renamed me after the pioneering queen of that region, which happens to be her great grandmother. Wow. So this particular queen, characteristically, was smart, witty, stubborn, athletic, pioneering spirit. And so when I get a note from Queen Mother now, or friends of mine from Africa, and now my American friends that know how serious I am about my name change, they say, don't forget, walk in the power of your name, walk in the power of your name. When you know what that means and you take on a new name, because that's what, had we been born in Africa, this is what our names would have been.
Right. Before
the 400-year-old abduction.
Right.
So I just think that's so amazing and cool and historic and traditional. So that's why I'm using it in my name, AJ Aquia Otribia Johnson.
That is amazing. And I love the fact that, you're just embracing your roots.
Yes.
And it's something that a lot of us should actually do. I know I plan one of these days to go to my, where I'm supposedly from, Cameroon. Yeah. So that'll be interesting as well.
Oh my gosh, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I actually created an organization, The Bridge to Better. And on Instagram, you can find it at The Bridge to Better. It's its own account. And I'm using the separate account to just focus on all the different bridges that I'm creating to help us, me, you, even Africans, bridge over the 400 years that we were separated. I'm learning that we should have never been separated. And even though there's cultural differences, food differences, dialect and language differences, protocol differences, it's nothing that we can't realign with.
Okay.
And I just feel like if we made an effort to do that, how much more powerful of a people could we be? And so I'm trying to do everything I can to create more philanthropic programs within the Bridge to Better. So hopefully you will also bridge when you go to Cameroon, because it's life-changing. There's so much as Americans we just don't know about our culture and our history. And, I can't see how you can get over there, be blessed to learn it, and then come back going, well, that was fun.
Right.
Nice vacation.
And not have
I don't get it. Right. I don't see how that happened.
I want to touch briefly on another aspect of your trip to Ghana. I know you've dived into the spiritual part of it.
Yes.
But then there's also the love part of it. Because I know, you have been in a relationship for a fairly significant amount of time now, and that you've made a great distinction between American men and African men, and you actually advocate for African American women to,
to open up and explore.
Right.
It's so funny because I saw where African American men were like, wait a minute. And I was like, first of all, it's not even in my spirit to generalize. That's not when I was talking about African men versus African American men. I wasn't trying to generalize because I wouldn't do that anyway. I don't believe in that. But from my experience of both, I just love, and at this point I prefer the level of respect that African men seem to give on the continent. I love their spiritual foundation. All Africans are very deep into respecting the ancestors and tapping into the ancestors for guidance as well as God. I love the spiritual foundation that I find African men come from. And I also love, the royalty aspect of it. I believe that African men are very much in tune with the fact that they know they're royal and how they handle themselves because of it. One of the things I love, again, is that most African royals are not boastful.
Okay.
It's primarily from Ghana. I haven't met, again, I'm just learning to travel the continent, so I'm not generalizing, but a lot of the men in my travels, and listen, 8 times in 1 year is a lot. I've got a lot of Ghanaian friends saying, you're more Ghanaian than I am. When I go, they're like, you've been here 8 times, I thought you moved. So, it's amazing, but it's still a little bit of time considering the continent is so big. And this is the first year that I've even gone. So I'm looking forward to traveling even more. I've covered the Ivory Coast. I was going to Senegal this trip, so I still have to go to Senegal. I've been to South Africa, Bafokeng Nation. So I'm opening up my territory expansion, and I'm praying for that. But I just love the fact that, African men have a tendency to be more curious and actually supportive of goals and dreams. I have found than African American men who know who I am and typically either are interested because of what I've done more than who I am, as opposed to saying, okay, that's great, you've done all this work, you've been in the business 30 years, but who are you and what do you want now?
Right.
Like, I feel like that kind of conversation has come more often from African men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing I want to talk about is your business.
Yeah.
Now, I know, we all know that your body is always tight. My weight goes up and down, and it's been going up and down for, the number of years that I've been on this earth. But you've always managed to keep it tight. So I'm like, what is her secret? How is she doing this?
It's funny you say that because I got so many hits. on the actual anniversary day for House Party, March 9th, I actually dug up Shireen's jacket and I posted it on social media. And I was like, look what I found. And I literally posted the original Shireen jacket. And most people were like, you can still fit it? And I was like, yeah, like that wasn't even my point. My point was like, look what I found. And everybody was like, forget that. The fact that you can still wear it. It's crazy. It's focus and discipline. It's really being focused and disciplined on what you want. My weight fluctuates. I try not to go above 10 pounds. Traveling sometimes can be hard. I mean, I'm probably the heaviest now that I've been probably ever because I've been traveling so much between Africa and for the show. But you just have to make a choice and know what works and dig in. One of the things I'm doing after this whole press junket for the show is I got to get back into my workouts. I have to increase my water. Like, I know what it takes to get there and maintain it. I've been doing it for so long. I know what my body responds to. And I think everybody just has to reach a point where they're so disciplined and so consistent that that's where the results come from. And the fact that you fluctuate may be because you haven't had a success level enough yet to know what really works and what doesn't. So some people kind of still feel like they're living in a guess space. Right. I think this works. Maybe this will work. I'll try this now. I heard this works. As opposed to stick to the basics first. It's all healthy food, which means whole foods, preferably live enzyme foods, which is fresh vegetables, and lean proteins, chicken and fish. Stick with that. That's the basics, and lots of water. That's it. That's it. No sodium-filled condiments, no processed sugars. Like, stick to the basics, and you'll get results.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to go back to square one then because, I try. I see the fads, the keto, the Weight Watchers.
Go back to square one first. Focus on square one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your program is called the AJ Zone,
That's
correct?
the company, yes.
Oh, that's the company.
AJ Zone,
And I know your zoners. I have sung your praises. Viola Davis, Anne Hathaway, Gabrielle Union, Toni Braxton, Ed Helms, Beyonce, Shaka Khan. The list goes on. Have sung your praises about your program. So just tell us a little bit about the business and how we can get in tune with the program.
Yeah, the AJ Zone, the zone where you're better, where you reach your better, the zone where you rock your better. That's our log line, if you will, because everybody's better is different. While somebody may want to lose weight, somebody else may want to, get off diabetes medicine, while somebody else may want to just get ready for the next, movie premiere that they're doing or movie role. Everybody's better is different. And so what I'm excited about is that the company's built on being able to help you reach the better that you're after. So it can be weight loss. It can be mental, spiritual health. It can be low stress. It can be, I need to change my body in 30 days for this role. It can be whatever it is. And that's how the celebrities started calling the AJ Zone. In terms of the non-celeb, we actually have 30-minute consultations for only $30. And actually, you're talking to me. Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, 30-minute consultations for me are usually $250.
Right.
But I started this kind of special last Christmas of 2018. And it was so successful. We continued it through Christmas of 2019, and we're still doing it. Because I feel like, as I tell people, your better shouldn't leave you broke.
Right.
And so...
I love that.
Yeah. And so, talking to women all over the world, trying to give them advice and help on how to move forward in their lives has been amazing. I mean, I hope people are enjoying it as much as I am, because it's also helping me learn my audience globally, learn what women are dealing with. And so it depends on what you're after. It can be weight loss, it can be career shift, it can be geographic shift in terms of where you're trying to live. It can be relationships, not only just interpersonal, but your family relationships, mothers, brother, sister, daughter, it could be anything. And so the best thing to do is follow at the AJ Zone, which is our Instagram account.
Okay.
And we constantly post content about, what it takes to be a client, our specials, our sales. And you can always go to the AJZone.com, which is our website, and look around in the AJ Zone store to see what we offer.
Okay. Sounds good.
The best part about it is it's called the AJ Zone. And guess who AJ is? I see that. Look, Dad, I did it. I own something. Pretty awesome, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And just to close everything up, I just want to know if there's anything else that you have going on that you want to share with everyone. What are some updates that are going on?
Golly, updates. I'm actually waiting to launch a project with BET. Okay. They're creating some new content for BET and BET Her, for women, by women, about women. And so I'm anxious about that. We'll see what happens with this whole virus situation, but we're supposed to shoot the end of April. Okay. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. I haven't worked with BET for scripted. So again, something new, something different. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got some philanthropy projects that I'm launching. The Bridge to Better, sometime this year, I hope to take a few groups to Ghana. To not only serve with me in terms of my philanthropic efforts, but also to introduce them to the spiritual transformative journey that I have taken and continue to take when I go. You may look out for somebody that you recognize on Love and Hip Hop Miami.
I tune in every Monday.
Okay, there you go.
We'll look for a certain someone.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Wink, wink. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for taking the time to talk to me. I know we're in the midst of this crazy thing going on. So we actually have a way that we're going to greet each other and say goodbye to each other.
Yes, our new greeting.
Right, exactly. But guys, make sure you follow AJ.
At the AJ Zone.
Exactly. And make sure you catch her because she's on the move. She's on the go. And, she's going to Africa soon. So we want to catch her while she's still in the States.
Yes. Or come with me.
Exactly.
At the Bridge to Better. Join that too.
All right. Again, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right. You want to do it?
Yeah, ready?
All right.
That's going to go as viral as the virus. Watch.
All right. Catch you guys later.